Hey guys, my name's Beckett and welcome. So we're going to be walking you guys through the leveling experience in the Division 2 in 2020. A lot of things have changed, people are coming back, whatever it may be. If you're a new player, this is going to be awesome. So you won't need to go in the dark zone. You don't even need a group. We're going to give you the best way to level so you don't have to come back and do side missions for blueprints or over level just because you did too much. Whether you're new or just coming back, this will be a great starting point for everyone. Alright guys, so let's get into it. I'll also be leaving timestamps in the description, so if you want to skip ahead, find a certain section, feel free to, guys. Alright, so the first thing we're going to get into is perks. Boring, but probably the biggest gain in experience from leveling from 1 to 30. And the first one we're going to get into is accolades. It's the XP perk, and it's by far the most beneficial, and I would suggest putting this first on your list. Like, your first 5 points, go straight back to the base operations and get this in your tree ASAP. Initially it seems minor, it's just like headshots, like how many headshots am I going to get hit? But once it's maxed out, it's pretty much just going into cover. It seems like you get XP for everything, and it just like exponentially adds over and over, so you can get up to level 30 a little faster. Second perk by far I'd probably go for is deconstruction. It's just easy pick, you know, more crafting mats for the more things you deconstruct. Easy, it's not that hard to think about. And at the end, you know, when you reach 40, 30, whatever, you have that boost so you can do your crafting mats and get anything that's low level up to gear so you can start pushing to those level 3 and level 4 control points. After that, I would just grab the perks, like the inventory, the resources, and the crafting materials. Once you have those 6 perks, feel free to branch out to wherever you want to go, whether it's weapon, the attachments, wherever you feel free. I like having the one where you go to your base operations and it fills up your armor and your ammo and everything. It's just a little quality of life things. And that's pretty much it on the perk side of things, and now we can get into the fun stuff, weapons. Now when it comes to weapons, shotgun comes to the top of the list every time for me. I've tried other weapons and it's too slow, or I'm just reloading too much. And when it comes to that shotty, it just makes quick work of every enemy type in the game, whether it's named enemy or just the low tier. Named enemy may take a little longer, but I guarantee it's probably going to kill anything faster in the game during your level experience. So our priority is going to be to get the blueprints to craft the Super 90. It's probably the best shotgun in the game for what we're going to be using it for. Just a superior gun, at least in the leveling scenario. I don't really use shotguns in endgame, so I can't really talk on that, but we're just talking about leveling. We want to get through it fast. We want to be efficient. Now, ideally, we're going to want to be crafting a new shotgun about every 5 levels if RNG is not on our side. For me, usually it's not. And for range, any like LMG honestly will do. You don't even need a mod or anything. I just use it to suppress down the whole room, or if I need to get something a little range. After you're holding down the trigger for a little bit, that LMG really gets pretty accurate. You can also use a marksman or just a regular rifle. I just prefer the LMG just for the easy spray at long ranges, short ranges, whatever. If you need a pinch and you get stuck in the middle of a reload with your shotgun, it's there. Now the talents are nice, but they're just a bonus. They're not actually needed to level through the whole experience. You don't need perfect talents, best in slot, min-max while you're going to 1 to 30. The shotgun scales so well that you should be 1 to 2 shotting everything without a good talent. With a good talent, you'll be one-shotting everything and making quick work of the named enemies, the bosses at the end of the missions. Now, when it comes to gearing up and picking items, generally you're just going to want to choose whatever the highest level gear you can get, and that usually will be the best bet. Anything that boosts your passive damage, like weapon damage, health damage, you know, armor damage, any skill damage like that, if you're running a turret or a more skill build at the time, depending on whatever gear you have on it, just go with that. Don't worry about crit chance, crit damage, or anything like that. It's not really going to affect you that much with your build, because usually you probably won't even have that much crit for it to actually affect the enemies, or you may get a few crits, but you're not going to be getting a crit every shot if you were like an endgame build. Now, if you're feeling a little squishy, feel free to mix a few high armor pieces in. The loss of DPS is not that noticeable. It'll slow you down, but it's not going to slow you down that much. Now, should you find like a piece of Wyvern, hold on to it. It scales far past its level. When running an assault drone with the 1 skill tier plus the 10% skill damage is immense, and you'll destroy everything. I think I picked one up around 19 or 20 on my last leveling experience, and I did not change that until I hit 30, and I just grabbed another wyvern piece just to make it to 40 again. It's that big and it's that much damage. Now, other perks we want to look for on gear is Unbreakable and Entrench for the chest, and the backpack. The best perks are going to be Adrenaline Rush and Bloodsucker. Like I said, if you get it on there, but you don't need to go around trying to roll pieces of gear, trying to get the best piece of gear. Like if you see a vendor with Unbreakable, I would pick that up and just hold on to it, because Unbreakable is so good. It's just a free life. You die, you mess up, things happen. You don't have to start from the beginning of the checkpoint and lose more time during the leveling experience. Now we're getting into skills. So you're going to want to get your flying shooty boy out, the assault drone, like all the time. If you just get one skill tier on a piece of gear, you can pretty much disintegrate all your enemies. And if you feel too squishy, you can always run the repair drone, but it's going to be a lot slower. And just for the second skill, pick up the chem launcher, the healing variant of it. Its overall base healing is just far superior than every item in the leveling experience at all. You can go Reviver Hive. I just don't like it. It has a 3-minute cooldown, which is so punishing. Not being able to have that on-use healing that you can just drop at your feet really quick. I would keybind. There's 2 buttons for each skill, so you can just quick drop it. You drop it, and if you have that extra skill tier, you should be able to just keep that going consistently and just put it down for emergencies. That way you can just pop an armor kit really quick and be back up to top. And as well as if you're looking for mods, pretty much any mod you want to do is just anything that increases damage for your drone and anything that increases healing for your chem launcher. Now we're going to get into like best practices for leveling. I'm going to say pop your gear cache, the little cache you get in your inventory. Every level, every time you hit that new level, go ahead, pop it. You never know what you get. You might get a super OP weapon that's going to carry you through 10 or 15 levels really easy, and it doesn't take anything at all. Don't ever use your keys or your shade tech that you get for loot. Like you can open the boxes when you get to New York, and you can also use the keys, to open boxes around to get the hyena gear, whatever. It's just a waste. Save it for once you cap at 40 and you can get a bunch of yellows really quick. It may not be what you want, but it's somewhere to start, and then you can go off to your targeted loot spots and figure out where you want to go. Don't recalibrate or craft anything other than the shotgun every 5 levels. We don't need to waste that money, that resources, all that. We're going to want that when we get to 40, because we're going to be burning through a lot of materials as soon as we cap. Now, looting resources is a priority during the leveling experience for extra XP. Ideally, we want to be capped with all those materials when you hit 40, so you can just turn in your exotic quest right as well. For the donating to each control point we take over. Once we do that, we want to cap through. I believe you just cap 50 and you get the 3 things of experience. It's a little bit, it helps with the experience, so we don't have to go back and do any extra leveling, extra control points that we don't need to do. We're going to have to do enough when we hit 30 and hit 40. We don't want to do any extra. Don't scrap anything unnecessary. We will be doing quite a few projects during this level experience, so keeping about 3 to 4 pieces of each type of armor is a good thing, and will stop you from having to wait and farm those items, or to having to come back later just to finish up a blueprint, which is just not fun for anyone. Now, throughout the leveling experience, we're never going to want to do a control point, grab shade tech, or do any open world activity unless it's for a project. We don't need to waste any extra time, so we're just going to be able to do these projects passively. We don't need to go out of our way and waste 30 minutes to an hour to do something that we could have been doing during our natural leveling process while we're going and doing our main mission stories and stuff like that. And if a project is taking too long, just skip it. We can do a project at the end, or you might complete a certain thing. I think there's one where it's like you need to save a hostage and it's like impossible to find a hostage. Don't run around the map for 2 hours. And when it comes to bounties, just skip all the bounties. They take too long in travel time to get to. It's not worth the XP. And if you die while trying to do a bounty, you just wasted all that time for nothing. What, it took 15-20 minutes. We could already had a main story, a side mission, and on to our next objective and be a level or 2 levels ahead. Instead, we messed around and did this bounty. Now, when we're doing control points and shade and side missions, we're going to be all doing that while running to the main objective, just weaving in and out, trying to be most efficient with the way we travel. We're going to be like Google Maps when it comes to all these side missions and main objectives. Alright, now we started leveling. So from level 1 to level 15, we're going to be staying in the first 4 zones: Southwest, East Mall, Federal Triangle, and Downtown East. And what we're going to be doing the whole time, we're going to be weaving in between side missions and main missions for efficiency, as well as completing any control points and picking up shade tech in each area for projects associated with them. Should be about 1 control point per zone and about 4 shade tech. It's not that bad, and shade tech included in the missions don't count, so we will have to retrieve those ones in the open world. Our first priority in game is going to be unlocking the crafting table and unlocking the blueprint for the Super 90. So we're going to have to do that through this theater settlement, and you're going to have to do the first 2 story missions: Grand Washington Motel and Jefferson Trade Center, and then we can unlock the safe house, and that gives us the crafting table. Now we can go back to the theater and unlock crafting after we talk to Inuyasha. I don't know how to say her name, but that it starts with an I. It's very hard to pronounce. And then we'll need to complete all the theater settlement main missions. The big mission, the big circles are the missions, and we'll get the Super 90 blueprints from the theater project name. The name of that project, I believe, is called Food Independence. Just do that, and then we can go ahead and head back to the base, and we can craft that Super 90. And this gun will last you until 30, honestly until 40, but we're just going to 1 to 30 today, and then we'll cover our way to 40 in the next video. But we just need to recraft that about every 5 levels. 4 to 5 levels would be good, and it's very easy and very cheap to make, and it just outclasses everything, so you'll never have to worry about materials for it. You're not gonna really affect you in the end game where like, oh, I made too many shotguns. Don't worry about that. You can make one every level if you wanted to, but ideally you only need to do about every 3 to 5 levels and you'll be set. Now, by the time you craft your shotgun, you should be about around level 10 or so, and you should have a bag full of loot. If you've been saving gear instead of scrapping it, you can now complete all your projects pretty much instantly. You get that free level for all the stuff that we were already doing, and just finish clearing up any side missions in the East Mall and all those first 4 zones. And the best practice is just clear side missions, like I said, while we're heading to various main missions. It's very quick, and early on it takes like 2 minutes to do one of the side missions. You very much like clear 2 rooms, and it's like, all right, you're done. Thanks, agent. We're good to go. Now, by the time you hit level 15, then we can now head to the west side of the map, where we're going to be doing Downtown West, Constitutional Hall, and West Potomac Park. And this is all on the west side, and we're going to be clearing the campus settlement story missions and the side missions project. Kind of just like what we did on the other side in the beginning, but this will go a lot quicker because we're not so low level. We have our skills, we got all this stuff. And the best way to start, just go ahead and grab every safe house in every zone before you do any missions. And then we're just going to be weaving and doing side missions on the way up as we do main missions like we did before, just for be the most efficient player we can be, and just complete any control points and picking up any shade tech in each area for the project associated with them. Like I said, during 1 to 15. After we do all that, we should be about level 25, and now we can head to West End and Foggy Bottom. So from 25 to 28, we'll be in Foggy Bottom and West End. And we're going to be doing everything in both zones. They're very small and tightly packed and easy to clear very fast. Like, I mean, like 20 minutes, you can probably clear the whole zone, except like the main missions and stuff like that. So clear every control point, every mission, every project, get all the shade tech for each project, all the stuff like that. Once those zones are done, we can now head to the strongholds, which is Roosevelt Island and District Union Arena. And this will put you at 30, and you'll have everything you need, all the blueprints, everything. But you will still have to do one more stronghold, which you can't access until you're level 30 and just do that, and you can start your grind to level 40 if you have the expansion, or you can just start doing endgame stuff at level 30. But honestly, if you don't have Warlords, get it. It's an amazing expansion, and it's a lot better than just the level 30 experience. So next time, I'm going to be going over the level 40 leveling experience. So level 30 to 40, fastest way to get to there. It's going to be a little shorter. This one was a little longer because there was a lot more to go into. But thanks for sticking around, and good luck out there, guys. Thank you.